Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for this kind introduction. It is a great honor to be here at 2025 KACF Women's Luncheon, surrounded by many inspiring women. Thank you, Kyung-Yoon, Jeannie Park, and the leaders of KACF for this recognition. Thank you, Lisa and Mi-young. And I want to shout out to Laura Kim. I'm also so happy that my daughter Elizabeth flew in from Paris last night to be here. I first connected with KACF and Kyung in 2002 when I was asked to host an event at my gallery. Over the years, we've collaborated on several cultural events. I've always admired how KACF brings together leaders who share a belief in uplifting the most vulnerable in our community. Today, I want to share a bit about my own journey and how this community has shaped the way I see my work. I first came to New York in 1995 as a student with my late husband, Jay. New York is the capital of art market, and I was determined to make my career here. From a young age, I had already been working alongside my legendary mother, Hyun-Suk Lee, the founder of Kukje Gallery in Seoul, the most significant contemporary art gallery in Asia. She was a pioneer, introducing international artists like Louis Bourgeois, Alexander Calder, Jean-Michel Basquiat, and many more to Korean audience. From her, I learned to take a bold risk. In the art world, art fairs are an essential marketplace to introduce your artist to global audience. My mother's gallery was one of the first from Korea to exhibit at Art Basel. But the early years were challenging because she showed international artists. We were often criticized for not showing enough Korean art. At the time, it felt unfair. Swiss galleries are not asked to show only Swiss artists. Why do I have to show Korean artists at such a huge expense when they had no market? But I began to understand that those expectations came from a deeper desire to see Korean artists represented on the world stage. When an art historian, Joan Key, wrote her dissertation on Tansekwa, many scholars started taking interest. The Tansekwa painters are the forefather of contemporary Korean art whose practice were rooted in their experience of Korean War and the rapid economic growth that followed. I realized there was a rare opportunity that couldn't be missed. These artists had a great potential, but no international representation. I wanted to be the one to give them that platform. We worked swiftly. In 2014, we organized a Tansekwa exhibition in Seoul during Gwangju Biennale. The following year, we organized a major Tansekwa exhibition in Venice during 2015 Venice International Biennale, introducing these artists to global stage. It was said to be the most significant and beautiful exhibition that year. That same year, we achieved our first record-breaking $10 million sale at Art Basel. History was made. That experience was life-changing. It taught me something important. When we lived one story, we lived many. I remember talking to my father afterwards. He reminded me that opportunity like this comes once in a lifetime. And when they do, you don't hesitate. You have to make forward with a conviction. So that same year, May of 2015, I opened my gallery in New York on 21st Street. My first exhibition was titled Happy Together, curated by Clara Kim, now the chief curator at MoCA LA. Supporting Korean artists and Korean curators became my way of giving back. I became the connector, linking curators, museums, collectors to Korea. I helped organize museum exhibitions, secure funding, and build bridges between US and Korean institutions. One example stands out, that is MoMA. In early 2010, then MoMA curator Laura Hopman approached me about collecting Korean art for MoMA. At the time, MoMA had no curator familiar with Korean art and no patron base to support the acquisition. So she told me that if I could help her raise $50,000, museum would match it. We started a small group called Korean Friends for MoMA, and some of those initial members are here today. It wasn't the amount that mattered. It was the message that our community cared deeply about seeing Korean artists represented at the highest level. In the past decade, the landscape of Korean art has transformed. Dansekwa artists are now in major museum collections around the world, including MoMA, Guggenheim, Tate, the Centre Pompidou, and many museums now have Korean curators. Exhibitions of Korean artists take place everywhere. In the past 2 years alone, there were Christine Sun Kim at the Whitney Museum, Mire Lee at Tate, and Ayeon Kim at MoMA PS1. These are just among so many exhibitions that takes place. Next year, Liu Fan and Haegyu Yang will have exhibition at Dia Art Foundation, and Guggenheim is organizing Dohosa's retrospective. None of this happened overnight. It took years of persistence and collaboration among artists, curators, collectors, patrons, who recognized the importance of uplifting our community. It all ties back to what KACF stands for: nurturing connection, celebrating our heritage, and building a culture of generosity. I am proud to be part of KACF family and to stand among the women here today who continue to lead, inspire, and invest in our community. Thank you.